In translocation of water or ascent of sap, we learn about root pressure theory and capillarity theory. Now we discuss about cohesion tension theory, which is also called as transpiration pool theory or Dixon Joly theory. In theory, this theory is widely accepted theory which explain ascent of sap in plants. This theory is proposed by Dixon and Joly in 1894. These are two different scientists that discovered this cohesion tension theory, and this theory is based on two principles: एक cohesion addition and transpiration pull. की दोन प्रिन्सिपलवर ही थिअरी आधारित आहे, कोहेशन ॲडिशन आणि ट्रान्सपायरेशन पूल. We discuss cohesive force and adhesive force. First, we discuss cohesive force. What is the definition of cohesive force? That is a strong force of attraction between water molecules is called as cohesive force. And adhesive force means a strong force of attraction between water molecules and lignified wall of lumen of xylem vessel, that is called as adhesive force. Adhesive force, a strong force of attraction दोन मॉलिक्युल्समध्ये म्हणजे वॉटर मॉलिक्युल्स आणि लिग्निफाईड वॉल ऑफ ल्युमेन ऑफ झायलम वेसल यामध्ये अट्रॅक्शन बिटवीन strong force of attraction between water molecules and lignified wall of lumen of xylem vessel, that is called as adhesive force. And these two forces develop a continuous water column in the xylem. These two forces, that is adhesive force and cohesive force, these two forces that is develop a continuous water column in the xylem. Then we discuss that is transpiration pool. Transpiration pool. This transpiration pool developed in the leaf vessel, which is transmitted down to root. This transpiration pool कुठं डेव्हलप होतो हा लीफ वेसल इन द प्लांट्स अँड विच इज ट्रान्समिटेड डाऊन टू रूट. लीफमध्ये हा ट्रान्सपायरेशन पूल डेव्हलप होतो आणि तो द ट्रान्समिट डाऊन टू root and thus accounts for the ascent of sap takes place. Then due to continuous transpiration through the stomata of the leaf, the diffusion pressure deficient of mesophyll cell increases. Mesophyll cell increases when due to continuous transpiration through the stomata of leaf. When continuous transpiration takes place occurs, स्टोमॅटो ऑफ लिपच्या स्टोमॅटो अपांगरंध्रामधनं जेव्हा कंटिन्युअस ट्रान्सपायरेशन होत असतं तेव्हा काय होतं, द डिफ्युजन प्रेशर डिफिशंट ऑफ मेझोफिल सेल increases and these cells withdraw water from xylem in the leaf. This will create a tension that is called as transpiration pull. Thus water is pulled upward positively against the gravity, leading to the ascent of sap. This is something about transpiration pull. Then there is also some limitations like other two theories or some objections or limitations of transpiration pool theory, which is as follows. For transpiration pool to operate, water column should be unbroken and continuous. या थिअरीमध्ये सुद्धा काही लिमिटेशन्स आहेत की जे फॉर ट्रान्सपायरेशन pool to operate, water column should be unbroken and continuous. Here in transpiration pool, that is water column that should be unbroken and continuous, and this mechanism assumes that this theory shows that tracheids are more efficient than the vessels. या ठिकाणी tracheids are more efficient than the vessels as their end walls support water column. यामध्ये ज्या काही tracheids आहेत that is more efficient than the vessels as their end walls support water column, and vessels are more vessels that is more evolved than tracheids that are also more efficient, and in this ascent of sap also occurs in deciduous plants. This ascent of sap also occurs in deciduous plants. पानझडी ज्या काही वनस्पती असतात किंवा वनस्पतीमध्ये जेव्हा पाने जडत असतात अशावेळी दॅट्स हॅव सेड ऑल हायर that also shed all of their leaves, and these are some limitations of transpiration pool theory. And we also discuss next point, that is transport of mineral ions. We know like water, minerals also plays an important role in plants. They are absorbed in the dissolved form through the roots. Like water प्रमाणेच minerals सुद्धा प्लॅन्टसाठी अतिशय महत्त्वाचे की ते that also absorbed by roots, and they are transported upwards along with the xylem sap. Mineral ions are required in the meristems. These mineral ions which is also plays an important role. Like water, they are transported upwards along with the xylem sap. Mineral ions are required in the meristems. Then young leaves, developing flowers, fruits, seeds, and storage organs, and they enter the cells by active absorption. We know active absorption and passive absorptions, and they enter the cells by active absorption. This is about transport of mineral ions, which plays an important role in plants. And transport of food. All the plant parts require continuous supply of food for nutrition and development. All plants that requires food for nutrition and development. And in higher plants there is a great differentiation and division of labor. Higher plants मध्ये there is a great differentiation and division of labor. The leaves where food is synthesized, is called as source. We know in leaves food is synthesized, and that is called as source. And the non-living and non-green parts like root, stem, that must receive food from leaves, that is called as sink. In plants we know leaves, they can synthesize food, and that is called as source. And other non-green parts like root and stem, which does not synthesize food, and they does not synthesize food, and they received food from leaves, that is called as sink. And food has to travel from source to sink. We know here source, that is leaves, and sink, that is root and stem. They cannot prepare food material. We know leaves are synthesized food, and that is called as source. And root and stem, which is not synthesized food, they receive their food from leaves, which is called as sink, and this food has to travel from source to sink. आपल्याला माहीत आहे की फूड लीव्सपासनं इतर पार्टकडे म्हणजे स्टेम आणि रूटकडे ट्रान्सपोर्ट होत असतं. And this movement of food from one part to other part, that is called as translocation of food. यामध्ये जे फूड सिंथसाइज लीव्हच्याद्वारे फूड सिंथसाइज केलं जातं ते ट्रान्सफर कुठं होत असतं, अदर पार्ट, दॅट इज रूट अँड स्टेम, अँड दिस movement of food from one part to other part, which is called as translocation of food. And next point, that is the path of translocation. Food is translocated longitudinally through sieve tubes of phloem. We know this food which is synthesized by food कोण synthesize करतं प्लांट्समध्ये leaves, and this food is translocated longitudinally through sieve tubes of phloem. phloem मधल्या ज्या काही sieve tubes आहेत त्या sieve tubes काय करत असतात, फूड ट्रान्सफर करत असतात. It is translocated downward from leaves, means that food which is translocated downward from source to stem and root, which is we know here leaves, that is called as source, and stem and root, which is called as a sink. And then this food is translocated downward from leaves, that is from source to stem and root, that is the sink. And it also occurs in upward direction during germination of seed, bulbils, corm, and from leaves to the growing points. This food it also occurs in upward direction. केव्हा upward direction ला होत असतं food transport, that is during germination of seed, bulbils and corm, as well as from leaves to other growing points. And the lateral translocation of, that is lateral translocation occurs with the help of medullary rays in the stem, and from phloem to pith. Then when food is transferred from phloem to pith, phloem, xylem, we know in vascular plants these phloem and xylem are present, and from phloem to pith, which is a central part of these vascular bundles, and when food is translocated from phloem to pith, that translocation of food which is called as radial translocation. जे फूड फ्लोएम टू पीथ, फ्लोएमपासनं पीथकडे ट्रान्सफर होत असतात त्या ट्रान्सलोकेशनला काय म्हटलं जातं, रेडियल ट्रान्सलोकेशन. अँड फूड विच इज अ ट्रान्सफर फ्रॉम फ्लोएम टू कॉर्टेक्स, that translocation which is also called as transitional translocation, which in which food is transferred from phloem to cortex, and thus the transport of food through the phloem is bidirectional. Phloem sap contains mainly water, sucrose, amino acids and hormones. That is seen in this figure, that is LS of sieve tube, in which sieve plate, companion cells, sieve tube, then sieve tube elements, and cytoplasm. These structures that is seen in this figure, LS of sieve tubes. And we know translocation of food in these sieve tubes of phloem. आणि अशा पद्धतीने आपण या ठिकाणी path of translocation of food, that is this food is translocated longitudinally through sieve tubes of phloem. In this figure we see that is a translocation of food longitudinally through the tubes of phloem, in which these parts are present: shoe plate, companion cell, then shoe tube element, then cytoplasm, and this shows mm, there is a transport of food through phloem, which is bidirectional, and this phloem sap contains mainly water, sucrose, amino acids, and hormones. Thus, we see that is a path of translocation and transport of food in plants.